Hey Johanna, this is Brian from Leadhounds, and in this video I'm going to show you 3 things that you can start doing to bring in more patients through your website. So you might be asking yourself, why is this guy just showing me this stuff for free? Can't I just go do it myself and take advantage of the extra business? And the answer is yeah, you absolutely can do that. But what I've found is that most small businesses don't have the time to worry about perfecting their websites or showing up on Google searches. So if you do have the time, that's great. I encourage you to use what you learned in this video. But if you don't and you think you could use some help with this stuff, then just give me a call or shoot me an email after you're done watching and we can talk about the next steps. Okay, so I mentioned those 3 strategies, but before we get to that, I want to talk about the goal of those strategies. And that's going to center around what's called buyer intent keywords. So that's basically a word or a phrase that someone is going to search on Google when they want to pay for a service. So in the case of Touch Laser Medical Spa, that might be something like Botox Miami, right? And you could do this with any of the services you provide, like laser hair removal, you definitely could do. But I just chose Botox as an example. So I went ahead and searched Botox Miami in Google, and let's see what we find. So up top, we have the links to the websites of a few of your competitors, right? Miami Skin and Vein, and Dr. Crow right here. So we can scroll down a little bit and see if we can find Touch Laser Medical Spa. And scrolling down, I don't see you on the first page. We'll go one more page just to check. And okay, all right. So that's the bottom, right? You see these ads; those kind of mark the next page. And you're not on the first 2 pages of Google. So what that means is all the people searching for Botox Miami are going to be going to your competitors' websites that are showing up on the first page instead of yours. So then you might ask, well, how many people are really searching this stuff? Like, do I even care? And we can actually answer that question. This is a tool I use called Ahrefs to get search data. And right here, we see that keyword we looked at, Botox Miami. And we see that it gets 1,000 searches every single month, right? So that's 1,000 people just for this one keyword every month looking for Botox. And if you go through this list, we have Botox in Miami and all these other keywords with thousands or hundreds of searches every month. And if you're not showing up on the first page for all of these keywords, then all those people searching this stuff are going to be going to your competitors' websites instead of yours. So why don't we take a look at the keywords you do show up for? So this is your website, touchlasermedspa.com on Ahrefs. And let's look at your keyword list. Okay, so we'll just sort by your position. Oh, doesn't seem like that's working. Okay, there we go. So we're sorted by position right there. And so that you can see what you come up at the top of Google for. And you are coming up first for a few, but if you look at this, they all have touch laser in it, right? That means the people searching this stuff already know about you. They're probably not new patients. And what you really want your website to do is bring in new patients so you can get that new revenue. Because the ones searching for this stuff, you've already won them over, right? You provided them a great service and they want to come back. They just, forgot the directions or something. So you can see all these ones where you're at the top for have touch or touch laser, or they don't have that Miami part of the keyword, right? So the people searching that without saying Miami could be anywhere in the country, right? You have no idea if they're near you. And if they're in a different state, they're not going to come to your med spa. So we'll scroll down a little more and see if we see any of those buyer intent keywords. So Laser Spa Miami, that's not bad. You're in the 10th spot, but that only gets 10 searches a month, right? And if we scroll down, we're getting towards the area where you're in the 15, 16, 20th spot, and really that means you're on the third page of Google. So nobody's really scrolling that far to find a business that they want to go to. So let's take a look at one of your competitors. And this is Miami Skin and Vein. I think they came up first for that Botox keyword. And we'll just look at their list. And so right away you can tell, that they are doing what they're supposed to do for these keywords, right? Because look at this, Botox Miami, 900 searches, and they're in the #1 spot, right? That means they're the first link on Google. Botox and Miami, that's another big one. 1,000, 1,200 searches a month, and they're in the third spot, right? So that's great too. Lip fillers, right? So they got multiple services on here where they're on the first page and even the first link. So that just means that they're going to get most of the website visitors from these keywords. So how can you compete with them and get in these top spots? Well, that's going to come back to those 3 strategies that I mentioned at the start of the video. And the first of those is going to be the content on your website, right? So what I mean by that is literally the number of words on your website and how those words are used. And what Google wants to see is about 1,500 to 2,000 words of content that uses those keywords that you want to target, right? And sounds kind of natural, like a person wrote it, not one of those, not like ChatGPT or something. So we can look at your website, Touch Laser Medical Spa, and we'll scroll down to the bottom, and your website looks good, right? You got all your services, but there's not a lot of content, right? So Google's going to have a hard time knowing what your website is for if it can't read your content. So let's look at that competitor again, Miami Skin and Vein. And we'll just scroll down their website. So right there, they already have a little more content. They have a good chunk right there. We'll just keep going. You can see they have a few paragraphs right there. And we're getting close to the bottom. Yeah, so they probably have about 600 or 700 words on their homepage. So they have more than you, but they still don't have the optimal amount, right, that Google wants to see. So that means that all you have to do is add about 1,500 words using those keywords, and you'll be beating them out in the content department. Okay, so let's move on to the second strategy, and that's going to be what's called backlinks. So a backlink is when another website posts a link that goes to your website. And what that does is it tells Google that you are a credible business, because when they see other websites, other companies talking about your business, sending their own users to your website with one of those backlinks, that gives them more trust. So we can see right here that you already have 29 referring domains. So that's like how we count backlinks, right? This means one website is linking to you when it's so you have 29 of those. Now let's look at Miami Skin and Vein. So right here you can see they have 314 backlinks. So that is one of the main reasons that they're going to be beating you out for all those keywords. They have way more backlinks. So what can we do about that? Well, we can actually go through and look at those backlinks, and we can go through each and every website and get you a link from that site. And what that's going to do is it's going to match the strategy that they're using to get in those top positions for all those keywords. But we don't want to stop there. Once we've matched their strategy, we want to go ahead and add 100 more backlinks, 200 more backlinks, and basically just keep adding them so that we can make sure that we're blowing them out of the water. All right, so that's backlinks. Let's talk about one more strategy, which is the Google Map Pack. So that's this section here. I'm sure you've seen it before, where you have this little map and then you have 3 featured businesses. So these businesses are going to be super important because these top 3 right here actually get about 30% of the clicks, the website visitors, from searches like this. So how can you get in one of these top 3 spots? Well, one strategy we like to use is called citations. And a citation is kind of like a backlink, except instead of linking to your website, it links to your Google Maps profile. So those are basically business registration sites like Yelp, Yellow Pages, stuff like that. And what we can do is something very similar to the backlinking strategy. We can see what your top competitor has, in this case Smith & Co. Botox, and we can copy all of their citations. And then once we do that, we can, of course, go above and beyond, add 100 more citations so we make sure we're beating them. And other than that, we can optimize your Google Maps profile, make sure we're filling out all the different fields the way Google wants to see them, and we can respond to all of your reviews that you're getting. And all this stuff is, things Google likes to see and that they'll reward you for by moving you up in the map rankings. All right, Johanna, so those are the 3 things I wanted to mention. Again, that's the content on your website, 1,500 words using those keywords we talked about. It's those backlinks, right? We want to make sure that you're beating out your competitors. And then finally, we want to get you in those top 3 map spots so that you can take advantage of that extra traffic. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it was valuable to you. If it was, just give me a call or shoot me an email using the information here, and we can talk about next steps. All right, thanks.